My name is Bemo Myers, and I'm playing Alfred P. Doolittle. I wanted to audition for this show, one, because I adore the musical. I think it's a wonderful show. It's really well written. There's a reason that certain shows become classics, and I think, it is at least in part because it's a really well-written show. I was also really interested in a couple of the characters in the show. As kind of an adult male, you kind of have to look at the different shows and pick and choose parts that you think you might be a good match for. And there were a couple of those in this show, and I was really happy and excited to be cast as Doolittle because I think he's really a fun character. I think that Alfred is a little bit of a goof. I think that he enjoys life. He doesn't take himself too seriously. And I think those are some qualities that I have a little bit. But he also has an eye for his friends. He has, I wouldn't say necessarily for his family, but he does have kind of an awareness of what's happening around him in London at that time. Alfred is one of the few characters that makes kind of a comment about social class. And Shaw, the writer of the show, they think used Alfred as a little bit of his mouthpiece. He wasn't a real fan of the class system in London and England at that time, and I believe that he used Alfred as a way to kind of share some of those things. And so Alfred as a character is kind of aware of, I guess, social circumstance, and being a social worker in real life, that's something that I'm familiar with too. Well, the audience, I hope when they leave after seeing the show, one, I hope that they've been entertained for a couple hours. It's always nice. There are things going on in real life, whether they're, even if it's just a presidential election, if you want to kind of get away from that for a couple hours, not to have to think about anything, or, maybe some family troubles, or maybe your day just didn't go super good that day. And it's kind of nice to be able to go in and have musical theater, take you away for a while and be able to get that all out of your head and just enjoy yourself. But I also enjoy the story of My Fair Lady because it's not a cookie-cutter romance. In fact, Shaw, the original writer, was really clear that he didn't want a show that would be that way. And so it's kind of a thinking person's show. None of the characters, in my opinion, are perfect. They all have their obvious upsides, but also all the characters, in my mind, have some flaws built into them as well. And so they're much more real, much more like us, like real people. And at the end of the show, even, without kind of spoiling things, I think that it's a bit open-ended, and it gives the audience an opportunity to, ponder in their own minds how they see the next say, few days or few months progressing after the show might end. And so I think that it's a real show. I think it's heartwarming. I think it's tender. I think it's funny. So I think they'll just find that it's a little bit like real life, and I hope that afterwards they're kind of wondering to themselves, gosh, I wonder what happened.